that's mommy's. Use this if you want to smell like daddy.
You never had to question if you were a man, so why give your money to a corporation that doesn't know if their products are made for men? Try Jeremy Razor's hair and body products. Jeremy shampoo and conditioner are made with tea tree oil to naturally clean and restore your hair and scalp, argan oil to soften your hair and not your masculinity, and aloe vera to moisturize the hair and scalp. It's all paraben-free, sulfate-free, phthalate-free, and most importantly, 100% woke-free. Not to mention, it smells amazing. Go to jeremyrazors.com and use my special code BURNS15 to save 15% off. That's jeremyrazors.com. Use my special code BURNS15 to save 15% off.
Hello, welcome back everyone to another episode of Business Talks. In today's episode, we are going to talk about Taylor Swift and her help. She's going to help Joe Biden succeed in this election, this 2024 election. He is pulling out all the stops, and the news is saying that Taylor Swift will put Joe Biden in the White House again. Then we're going to talk about Taylor Swift again, because now you see Kansas City Chiefs won the championship and they're supposed to be going to the Super Bowl. Well, a lot of people are saying this is rigged. The NFL is rigged. This is a conspiracy theory. I don't know. I'm asking you, is this a conspiracy theory? So we will talk about that all today and more on another episode of Business Talks.
Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad.
Yes, thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. My weekend ended in a sad, defeated mess, even though I'm very proud of my Detroit Lions. They end up going to the AFC Championship, even though they didn't win, but they put on a good fight. Okay, so it was kind of sad and somber. My kids was kind of sad. My husband was sad. But, it's something to say, because we haven't been in no type of championship in years. So that's leading me to our first story of the hour. You guys put in the chat. Let me know where you're viewing from. Put in the chat. Let me know where you're viewing from. We have Ken Act of Kindness in the building. Barbara Wiltz Gerber in the building. Who else we have in the building? Ken and Act of Kindness. Biden. You said Burns for 2024. Yeah, LOL. Yeah, for real. That's funny. Barbara, you're saying she backed Beta. She should back an alpha this time. Trump 2024. Yes, I totally agree with you. So let's talk about the NFL first. Yesterday, you guys, I didn't watch the Ravens versus the Kansas City Chiefs game. It was no point of me watching it, because I had skin in the game. I live in Detroit. I've been here for a little bit over 20 years. And so all my effort and time was devoted on, hey, is Detroit Lions going to win? So when I opened up my Twitter this morning, it was a firestorm. People were saying the NFL is rigged. Let me share this post with you. The NFL is rigged. They're doing this because Taylor Swift is dating Travis Kelce. Some people are saying, oh, the conservatives are mad because Taylor Swift, she does not like Donald Trump. Okay. And it's kind of odd, because she's grown up in a Christian home and a conservative family home, and she does not like Donald Trump. And she's not a conservative. She likes Joe Biden. Anyway, so some of these posts are saying that the NFL is rigged. I'm not for sure, you guys. I have No comments on it. But I want to show this or share this with you, okay? Somebody posted, the NFL rigged. Let me make sure you guys can see it. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not on my screen. Okay, the NFL rigged it so the Chiefs could go to the Super Bowl so it could be more profitable. Meanwhile, it says the top 100 most watched U.S. TV broadcasts of 2023. Okay. They're saying NFL, of course, in the Super Bowl. I'm not for sure. And then some people are saying, is Taylor Swift a Pentagon asset? Okay. I mean, you might be thinking like, oh yeah, I think it's rigged. Okay. Somebody else put, give them bread and circuses and they will never revolt. And they're speaking on Detroit, or not Detroit football, but the NFL period. They're trying to make a comparison to the Coliseum. You know, the games in the Greek games or whatever. Is this true? I'm not for sure. You guys put it in the chat. Do you think the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens, was it rigged? I'm not for sure. Well, this one player, he fumbled. He was going into actually crossing the plane of the touchdown field. He was diving across, and the guy dropped the ball somehow. And so some people are playing that highlight a lot. I'm not for sure. Does Taylor Swift has anything to do with it? Do you think they're getting more views because Taylor Swift is there? I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure. Maybe the people. Okay, so the NFL. Now, this is conservatives' point of view. Now, conservatives are pissed off because they're going to sing the Black national anthems during the NFL. Okay, so some conservatives are pissed off. I don't see it was a big deal. They didn't say they was replacing the national anthem. They're just saying, oh, we're going to sing the Black national anthem too with the national anthem. Okay, so usually you do have two different songs that's being sung. So I don't see what the big deal is that about for. Now, I would have a problem if they said, oh, we're not going to sing the national anthem. We're just going to sing the Black national anthem. Well, this is America. Okay, we have all people here, not only Black folks. Okay, so yeah, I would have a problem with that, but that's not what they're doing. They're singing the Black national anthem and they're singing the national anthem. So some conservatives are mad. They said, oh, I'm not going to watch the NFL football game just because of that. Then you have now, since the Kansas City Chiefs won, and I think they're very talented. I think they're a very talented individual. But people are saying, and I believe they could win without Taylor Swift. Now, people are saying that, oh, the Ravens threw the game because somebody in the higher up told them, hey, you got to throw the game, take one for the team because we need to make more money. I'm not on that conspiracy theory, but let me see if I can find the play with the Baltimore Ravens. Somebody put in the chat, if you watch that game, put it in the chat. Raven. He was like right in the end zone. I don't know who that was either. I just saw a little clip of it. And I wouldn't even say drop the ball. He kind of fumbled it. Anywho, I'll try to find it when I NFL rigged. Let me just go to rigged because that's what's triggered. Trending. I said triggered. That's what's trending. That's what's trending. Then you got this one guy talking about the NFL rigged because of the Detroit Lions game. They think Detroit Lions threw the game. I watched the game. I didn't think they threw it. You have Benny Johnson even saying, hey, the NFL is rigged. And they're saying this all because of Taylor Swift. I'm not for sure. I mean, Taylor Swift, she has a lot of followers, but and maybe I'm just so naive. Maybe I'm naive to the point that that I don't believe it. That maybe it's just my own naiveness. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, you got this guy saying the NFL is rigged. Then this is it, you guys.
Crowd just watched it on the screen here and there. Crowd just watched it on the screen here.
That's one of the clips that they were talking about. Then this other clip. Like, where are you falling? That doesn't make any sense. Who did you get tripped up from? But, these guys are moving so fast. He could just trip, going so fast. But I'm not for sure. You guys put it in the chat. Let me know. Is it rigged? And this is the other clip that they was talking about. That could have happened to anybody. I don't know if that's rigged or not. It says, and this is a wild claim right here. This is from Rolling Stone. I'm not for sure if it's I gotta check to see, but somebody posted this. They said right winger says Super Bowl is rigged so Taylor Swift can endorse Biden. Well, she's already endorsed Biden. She's making Biden cookies. I'm not for sure. Why are they saying that? She already said she's not going to endorse Trump because she doesn't like Trump. She didn't like Trump back in 2020, or I think it was 2019. She posted up on her Instagram saying, hey, we're going to get you out of office. So she never did like Donald Trump. And she voiced her opinion. People were mad that Taylor Swift voiced her opinion against Donald Trump. I think it was late last year or early this year. And people were calling her names and they were like really upset with her because she doesn't like Donald Trump. This is the play I was talking about.
At the highest level this entire season, Jim.
Look at this.
Could determine the whole game right here.
Sneed.
It's out.
Who has played his hand at the highest level this entire season, Jim.
Like, why wouldn't you have the ball?
Defended the other team's best receiver, traveled with him all year, and he has shut him down week in, week out, and makes the biggest play of the season, getting the ball back for the Chiefs.
It's already been confirmed. Call that could determine the whole game right here.
Sneed.
It's out.
Who has played at the highest level this entire season, Jim. Sneed has defended the other team's best receiver.
So is the NFL rigged? I'm not for sure. You guys put it in the chat. I don't have any skin in the game. I really don't care about it. Maybe because I'm a girl and I don't really care about football that much to be like, oh my God, the NFL is rigged. I don't really care about it. But anyway, so moving forward, I was saying that going back to this right winger says Super Bowl is rigged so Taylor Swift can't endorse Biden. Well, this is just, I think, a rant because she's already endorsed Biden. She's already endorsed Biden. She made a post. She made a post, or somebody reshared this post. Biden and Harris 2020. So she's already endorsed Biden. And so why would she pull away from her support that she did in 2020? She already made it known that she's not going to endorse Trump. So she thinks Biden is the right person for the job. I'm not for sure. But we know she's not going to endorse Trump. Now, everyone else thinks that Taylor Swift is going to get Joe Biden in the White House. Everyone else. This is from the Daily Mail. You guys put it in chat. Do you think Taylor Swift has enough star power to put Joe Biden back in the White House? Do you think she has enough star power? Samuel Matthews, because Taylor Swift, I'm starting to think people in their 20s shouldn't be able to vote. Well, you know what? That's funny you said that. Vivek Ramaswamy, that's one of the things. He wasn't trying to take away younger people vote. But one thing he did say is they have to be able to pass, like a civic service test to basically say, hey, I do understand the concept of voting. I do understand what is actually going on politically. You just don't aimlessly put, some people just do a straight party ticket. Some people vote straight party without even looking at the candidates. And I think that's dangerous because you don't know who you're getting in office. A lot of people vote Democrat. A lot of Black folks vote Democrat. I mean, we 90% vote Democrat. This election will be a little bit different because I think some Black folks are starting to wake up. But do you think Taylor Swift she's going to pull Biden in? Okay. And it says on this is from the Daily Mail. New poll finds with a fifth of voters likely to back candidate endorsed by singers. This singer, Taylor Swift, 18% of the voters say they were more likely or significantly more likely to vote for the candidate endorsed by Taylor Swift. This election will see 8 million new voters in the U.S. electorate and a total of 41 million Gen Z voters, many of whom are influenced by celebrities. That's why I say celebrities have more power than they should have, I think, because they steer a lot of young people in the wrong direction, especially the celebrities now. I don't think they have any cause that they're going. Not to say Taylor Swift is different or like this, but what I'm saying is like some of the celebrities that these kids hold in high regard, they have little or to no moral ethics. Okay. So, but young people follow them because they're superstars, Taylor Swift, she's talked about all the guys that she used and abused and dumped and, I think Travis Kelce is going to be another tragedy or war in her, and she's going to make a love song about it and make millions off of it. And it's sad for the US, really. It's really sad. But they have the right. Is part of you being an American. You have the right to vote once you turn 18. Okay. Taylor Swift could heavily influence the way Americans vote in the presidential election, with a fifth of the voters say they are likely to back a candidate she endorses. This poll was done by Redfield Wilton Strategies for Newsweek. 18% of the voters said they will more likely or significantly more likely vote for the candidate endorsed by Taylor Swift. Now, Taylor Swift is 30. Is she 31 or 32? And they said her sway is more visible with voters under the age of 35. Can you imagine being an age, even like 28, saying, hey, my singer or songwriter that I listen to, they're endorsing a candidate. I think I should vote for them too, because they said that's the person for the job. And you're like listening to them singing, like talking about their boyfriend or girlfriend or their one night stand. You think that's a good person to take advice to lead the country? I'm telling you, I'm lost for words at this. This election will see 8 million new voters. I already said that. Oh, remember I told you, Taylor Swift, she already endorsed Biden in 2020, and she have spoken out against Donald Trump just recently, but this was back in May of 2020, where she said, after stoking the fires of white supremacy and racism your entire presidency, you have the nerve to feign moral superiority before threatening violence. When the looting starts, the shooting starts, we will vote you out in November at real Donald Trump. Now, remember Donald Trump said, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. And I don't think Taylor Swift caught the drift of that. Hey, if they starting to loot, then next is violence. And they're not talking about the police violence. They're talking about, hey, these looters, they become more violent. That's what I believe what Donald Trump was saying. And I said this last week when we were talking about Charlemagne and the Breakfast Club. I wish people will not take their political commentary or political advice to from people that have no experience, or no, they don't live in your shoes. They don't even know what you're going through. They probably haven't been in the grocery store for years. We're taking our Taylor Swift. You're going to take your advice from Taylor Swift, and she doesn't face the troubles that you face. Taylor Swift, she charged $1,600 to get in her show. She was charging more than Beyonce. She just became a billionaire because of her tour. They said she's worth $1.6 billion. And we're going to say, hey, Taylor Swift, she's a great person and she's going to tell us who to vote for. Well, that might not be a great idea, because Taylor Swift doesn't have the same problems like you have. And it's really frightening to see. They said 35 and under. Well, hell, at 25, you should have some sense not to say, okay, this is a song. I love your music, but I don't necessarily agree with your political ideology. And I don't understand why people don't have enough sense to separate the two. Okay. I'm not going to take marriage advice from you, let alone political, any type of political advice from you, because we don't see eye to eye. Why would you take marriage advice from Taylor Swift? She's never been married. So that's the same thing as political advice. Why would you take that from she doesn't live and walk in your shoes. Like I said, she charges $1,600 to see her in concert. So she doesn't know the same kind of things you know. And as far as climate change, you know, that's Biden's biggest thing. They're trying to fight climate change, and she rides around on a private jet. So what are we saying here? And she's talking about white supremacy. All the talking points that you will hear from a liberal person. Okay. Drum 4 saying not taking the field goal is a conspiracy. I'm not for sure. You can tell me. Now, are you talking about Detroit Lions? Detroit Lions, they could have tied the game because, you know, that possession that they had prior to the last possession, you know, they had a chance to make that, but it was like a 48-yard field goal attempt that they could have went for. Or they could have went for, I'm not for sure. But who's to say that's a conspiracy theory? And the coach already went into the game saying, hey, we're going to play aggressive. We're going to make aggressive plays. So I'm not for sure. Joe can act of kindness. Joe is only great because he is great grandpa. Taylor Swift is a psyop, a CIA psyop. I'm not for sure. You guys, that's my main thing. I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure. I'm really not for sure. I mean, I don't know. I'm on the fence with this one. And I'm a conspiracy theory person, but I'm really on a fence. Drum 4, Zay Flowers fumbled. It looked like a fumble. Well, the guy knocked the ball out of his hand. Noble Young is rigged. The Warrior. Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. Not with Black Americans, maybe teenagers. LMOA. Tiffany Hilliard is behind all of this. Tiffany is behind all of this. It's her fault. No, it's her fault. Major media is starting to see that Black Americans are tired of promises during elections from Democrats. The new term is promise fatigue. Yeah, and I think Black Americans are really what I could say. That racially charged or racially motivated speeches and the hey, I'm going to you need to vote for me because white supremacy is the greatest threat to our democracy. You guys already know what I feel about that. White supremacy is not the greatest threat to our democracy. I think your education is the greatest threat to our democracy. The open border policy is the greatest threat to our democracy. I think if we fix those things, we'll fix a lot of stuff in our country. But, you know, when people are less educated, they're easily manipulated. When you control things, like if you have more people are that you give stuff to, and just like the COVID vaccine, they were even talking in Congress saying that, hey, if you don't take this vaccine, some of the assistance that we give you can be disrupted. You know, some people were facing that. You can't even, you know what? Candace Owen made this post. Doctors now, if you refuse to vaccinate your children, and I'm not talking about COVID, I'm just vaccination, period. If you refuse to vaccinate your children, they have the right to kick you out their practice. just because you don't want to vaccinate your children. To me, that's kind of baffling. You rather not to see the child, an unvaccinated child. I don't know what you're scared of. If you're vaccinated, then you're protected, right? You prefer not to see a vaccinated child and kick them out the practice because they're not vaccinated. That's like medical abuse, really. Because you're telling parents you have to do something they don't really want to do just to get a physical, which doesn't make any sense. But anyway, that's only my personal opinion on that. Okay, so Taylor Swift, she is, I want to go back to some of the stats. However, 17% said they will be less likely to vote for the candidate backed by Swift, which could bode badly for Joe Biden. Although she never publicly said who she votes for, in 2020, she vowed to kick Trump out of the White House. All total of 55% said that they were neutral and wouldn't sway either way. The data comes from a sample size of 1,500 people, 45% which said they liked Taylor Swift, 54% saying they were not fans, 6% said they never heard of Shake It Off, a billionaire singer. Her popularity over the last 12 months has reached new highs. She was named Time Magazine 2023 Person of the Year, led the immensely successful Era Tour that raked over $1 billion, and bloomed in her relationship with Travis Kelce. She's influenced popular culture, sports, and economics of entire regions of the U.S. Swift is in a class by herself. She's so talented, she's popular, and she's so ingrained in pop culture. No one is close to her. I believe that is a correct statement of Taylor Swift. She is ingrained, she is so popular, and no one comes close to her in the pop culture. Celebrity power in election has grown because celebrity power itself has grown. And in the world of awash in messages and the celebrity voices that really resonate with people. So can we say that she's going to sway the election? I'm not for sure, but Forbes seems to think so as well. Joe Biden thinks it's going to help. It says Biden reportedly plans to use the Trump attacks, abortion, and hopefully Taylor Swift to win the 2024 election. That's what they're saying. Not for sure. If that's going to tip them over the scales. Like I said, I think it's kind of sad that a person won't have free thinking and say, oh, let me just evaluate this candidate. Taylor Swift has. Now, if you say, oh, I came from the same background as Taylor Swift, and I could see hey, Taylor Swift came from the same background as me, or we grew up in the same town. Yeah, I'll vote for whatever she's vote for. Now I could kind of see that, but I still don't see it. Like I said, Taylor Swift is kind of in a league of her own. She doesn't have to deal with day-to-day things like we have to deal with. It says the Biden campaign aims to make attacking Trump a central part of its re-election strategy, the Times report, with plans to paint Mr. Trump as a mortal threat to American government and civil society, and hopes that voters, distaste for Trump will overcome any reservation about Biden's candidacy. I think their hoping is wrong, because like even now with that $83 million verdict against Donald Trump, defamation case against Jean Carroll. You guys remember that Jean Carroll case that came out, that he is responsible for the defamation of Jean Carroll. He has to pay. he has to pay $83 million to Donald Trump. Pissed off. Sorry, you guys. I think all it did was pissed off Trump supporters. I could say that, okay, if you saw the last CNN interview with her, and this was when she first accused Donald Trump, and she was with Andy, his name Andy Stewart, right? She was interviewed with him, in the very last end where he cut to commercial, it was like a really odd exchange. She was saying the R word is a very sexy word, and it's like, okay, why would somebody in their right mind equate the R word or being assaulted as like a fantasy? And he cut to commercial. And so she was saying that in the interview, she was saying she doesn't want to be the victim. I wasn't violently assaulted. Okay, then are you saying you was assaulted? What do you mean by it? Was you or were you not? But anyway, like I said, right now, Jean Carroll is set to receive $83.3 million. That probably verdict will go. They probably keep on appealing that and holding up in court. One of the things Elena Haba said that, hey, we wasn't able to present none of our evidence because the judge wouldn't allow it. She wasn't even allowed to answer questions to Donald Trump because Donald Trump took the stand. The judge had to pre-approve the questions and pre-approve Donald Trump's answers. Then coming to find out, Jean Carroll's attorney was the judge was a mentor for Jean Carroll's attorney. So all this stuff is coming to light. Is that going to distaste voters from Donald Trump? No, all it is galvanizing Donald Trump's base, and then you starting to realize people that's on the fence about Donald Trump, they're probably thinking like, okay, so why are they really attacking Donald Trump? You know, these things don't even really make sense at this point. So, and then she was looking to seek $17 million or $10 million in damages. And the court, and these were jurors of their peers in New York, they came back with compensatory damages of $69 million. So anyway, this is Jean Carroll talking about the verdict. So so Jean Carroll, and I'm not saying her claims are valid or invalid, but she kind of rubs me the wrong way. She's really an odd person. Did you guys see that? I don't know if you guys put in the chat. Did you actually see the Let me just play it again. I don't know if you saw it or not. But like I said, Jean Carroll, she's a really, I don't know why it's keep on bouncing back too. Is a really odd person to me. And I don't know
This time, we would like the family members to move
Why?
forward and put on your soldiers' Army one-star
how the
badge.
verdict ended up this way.
Proud of you.
For him,
Okay.
the courtroom was not a courtroom to him. It was a campaign stop. That was clear. So we had two different objectives. Ours was to win a case. His was to win voters. We'll see how that plays out. He's using me to win voters. Sexual assault. A man found liable for sexual assault is using the woman he sexually assaulted to get votes.
You may soon, though, have quite a bit of his money, and I wonder how you plan to use that.
Oh, it's inspiring. We talk about it a lot. We're going to do good with that money. We're going to do, Mary Trump has suggested we turn Trump Tower into an animal sanctuary, for instance. A joke. That was a joke, Poppy. No, but we're inspired to do not waste a penny of this. And we have some good ideas that we're working on.
At Jiffy Lube, it's our job
That-
to make sure you stay on top
like I
of what's
said,
under your hood. With personalized service.
That was a real odd exchange, just like the exchange between her and Anderson Cooper. Did I say Anderson Cooper? But anyway, it was an odd exchange now and an odd exchange then. She's saying Donald Trump was using her as a political campaign. No, he's not. This is a defamation case. I just don't understand how in the world they let this slide. Even the way she described her attack from Donald Trump. You know, it's like some people are saying, hey, she made this up. It's off an episode of Law and Order. The exact same episode. So like I said, she's a really strange person. And going back to this Forbes article, Biden is trying to use Trump as a mortal threat. It says the attacks on Trump will be coupled with the Times described as heavy focus on abortion rights and GOP attacks on Americans' personal freedoms, as abortion has proved to be a winning issue for Democrats in the wake of Supreme Court overturning Roe versus Wade. One thing about abortion rights, you know, federally, you do not have the right to abortion, but that's why the feds kicked it to the state. Now, in your state, if you agree with abortion or not, you need to go and vote. Like Michigan had a vote whether or not to uphold or upheld Roe versus Wade. So you are able to get an abortion within a certain amount of time in Michigan. So they put it on as a vote. So we can't just say, hey, he does tout that because he put those Supreme Court justices in, and this is his conservative agenda, which it should be his agenda. He's in the Republican Party, so he's doing what he's supposed to do. But the winning issue, they use the winning issue, is really not up to the president of the United States about Roe versus Wade. It's usually the state could issue their own usually states, every 50 state have their own constitutional law. Anyway, Biden administration officially have already started making overtures to celebrities and social media influencers with hopes they will promote Biden on social platforms like Instagram and TikTok. And the Times reports, given the decline in voters who get their news through traditional news sources. So, of course, these people are paid to say, hey, I'm voting for Biden. Why don't you come on board? Because then they put some rhetoric out against the other political opponent. Okay. One guy, I guess he's a massive social media person, and he turned down the offer with Biden's camp. I guess someone approached him last week and said, hey, we're looking for social media influencers to, support our election campaign or help with our election campaign efforts for Joe Biden. And they put this in an email saying, hey, we know you don't agree with a lot of Joe Biden's political stance on things, but we were hoping that you would still promote him. Name your costs. What is your fee for this service? And he put some astronomical amount. He said $50,000. He said $50,000, and they said, okay. And he didn't end up taking it. I think he ended up saying, no, I'm straight on that. But this is what we have to deal with, and some of these young kids, they are going to be like, oh, my favorite social media person saying, hey, vote for this person instead of doing all the work. They're going to say, oh, this person said this, so I'm going to vote for Joe Biden, which is really sad. It is really sad. I'm trying to find if I could find that your channel history. If I could find, I think Black Conservative Perspective was talking about it. If I'm not mistaken, a couple of days ago. Oh, no, it was Officer Tatum.
Why are you selling everybody else's?
Officer Tatum. He was saying that TikTok star exposes Biden campaign allegedly bribing him for $50,000 to post positive content about Joe Biden.
To be from the Democratic Party. And they said, what would your rate be to post positive videos about Joe Biden? So they responded back, we understand you're not a fan of the Democrat Party right now. How much would it cost? I was like, you know what? I wonder how bad they want me to post this. 50 grand. And they said yes.
He snitched on them Democrats.
So I'm not going to play his video, but that's basically, I don't know who the TikTok star is. I don't know this guy. And he didn't put it in his. He don't have his tag on this TikTok video. So I don't know who this is. You guys put it in chat and let me know if you know who this guy is. But anyway, so that's Biden's plan. Now, one thing before we get offline, I want to talk to you about Biden just for about 10 minutes. And this is a Biden immigration policy. So Biden's telling everyone, hey, if Congress, they have this bill up in Congress about the border, and it includes money for Ukraine and other stuff. Biden told some people, hey, if or the reporters, if they will pass a comprehensive bill and give me the money, I will close the borders. Why is it contingent on? Why is it contingent on you getting some money to close the border for Ukraine? This bill that they got trying to, and they're calling it, what is it called? A bipartisan bill. To me, is not a bipartisan bill. To me, it's like, you're full of crap. You're the president of the United States. When have they ever passed a bipartisan support on the border? They haven't did it in years. You guys put it in the chat. Have they ever passed a bipartisan support of the border patrol? This is all administrations. They've never passed it. So why are you saying I'll close the border in contingency in place if these people that's sitting in the Capitol, if they pass this bill? You're the president. You have the power to close the border, but you refuse not to. And to me, it's really sad. And people are not giving him any pushback. They're not giving him any pushback. I'm going to just find this Biden. I don't know why my
Kelly Blue Book Instant Cash Offer is an official offer.
I don't know why my YouTube doesn't save some of my stuff that I save. Anyway, so this is it. Biden's talking about, hey, we'll close the borders if they passed a comprehensive bill. Why? You should do it. You know they're not going to pass one.
The southern border, Washington hoping a deal to stem the tide could be close.
If that bill were the law today, I'd shut down the border right now and fix it quickly.
President Biden and lawmakers working on a bipartisan deal to expand the president's authority at the border. Lawmakers hopeful it can pass.
We do have a bipartisan deal. We're finishing the text right now.
This despite former President Trump opposing the deal.
I'd rather have no bill than a bad bill. A bad bill you can't have.
Mr. Trump condemning the deal in a flurry of Truth Social posts over the weekend, claiming without evidence there will be major terror attacks if migrants continue to come in. Other Republicans pushing back.
Donald Trump, the last thing he needs to do is tell them to wait to pass a border deal until the election. We can't wait one more day.
And it comes as Republican Texas Governor Greg Abbott is in a standoff with the federal government, denying federal agents access to an area in Eagle Pass that's been the epicenter of the migrant surge. Now surrounded by a fence and razor wire, the state even adding more razor wire after last week, a Supreme Court ruling gave Border Patrol agents the power to remove it. Republican governors from 25 states signing a letter supporting Texas.
Texas should stand their ground.
All this as House Republicans unveil articles of impeachment against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Republicans allege that Mayorkas displayed a refusal to comply with the law and accuse him of making false statements and knowingly obstructing lawful oversight of the Department of Homeland Security. DHS blasting the move, calling it an unconstitutional, evidence-free impeachment. And whether that immigration deal moves forward is an open question since President Trump is opposing it. He has said it would be, quote, a gift for President Biden in an election year. But other Republicans are saying that this is the best deal that the party is going to get. Hoda.
All right, Guad Venegas for us there.
I don't know. I haven't read the bill or anything like that. I tried to find it to see what the language is. But if you're saying that, hey, we're going to have this comprehensive border bill, we're going to give you money to Ukraine, and we're going to limit, instead of saying, hey, we're going to shut it down, they're not going to shut it down. Because if the Democrat Party is agreeing to this bill, they're going to have some type of figure in there that's probably going to be astronomical. Oh, instead of 10 million, we'll just say 1.8 million a year. It's less than what we've been doing. And I think it's a totally crappy deal. And I don't think they should take it. It would be interesting to see. They're not going to pass this bill. I guarantee this bill is not going to be passed. If it is passed, it tells you, especially in the Republican Party, who you could trust and who you cannot trust. Nikki Haley, she's not a real Republican. She's not conservative. She's not. She's a warmonger. And as I listen to Nikki Haley more and more, the more liberal she gets. She's basically a Democrat. She wants to fund Ukraine. She wants to give aid to Israel. She's a warmonger. And she believes immigrants, illegal immigrants, have the right to be over here, which they don't. They do not have the right to be over here. Now, if you cross over the border legally and you are seeking asylum legally and you came over here legally, yeah, you do have a right to be here, because we said as a country, we're going to take your case and we're going to see if you have the rightful claims to seek asylum. But everybody else passing through the borders, where the borders don't exist or the gate don't exist, it's really ridiculous. One last thing about borders. I saw on Twitter, let me see if I can still find it. I saw on Twitter where they actually welded the gate open at the border. To me, that's really ludicrous. This right here.
Half a mile. What's going on, guys?
This is the border. They got this road open. And they said it's welded open. I mean, so what do you say about that? What do you say to that kind of stuff? So you're actually trying to sabotage America. You're trying to create chaos. This is what I see. You're trying to create chaos in the South and in all these major cities. So everybody could be mad at who? Who are they going to be mad at? Well, you're the president of the United States. It's not Governor Greg Abbott's fault. It's your fault. You're the president. You're supposed to secure our borders. America should be feeling safe. If they don't feel safe, then you created that problem. And people might be saying, oh, they have the right to be here. You're just being mean. That's being racist, blah, blah, blah. Tell the people, tell the victims of the young lady that got strangled with a telephone cord by an illegal immigrant. Tell that to her, or to the other people that got killed in their house by another illegal immigrant. A whole family got wiped out. Or the guy that was driving drunk, he got deported about 3 or 4 times, and he was over here still driving drunk and killed the whole family. Tell that to those people. So anyway, I could talk to my face turned blue. You guys, it's about 2:30, so I've been on stream an hour. You guys make sure you like, share, and share this video. Subscribe. Make sure you put something in the chat. Bonita Nottingham, thank you for tuning in. Speaker Johnson better not sign off on that bill. He better not. I agree with you. If he does, you know what's going to happen. Your boy going to be trying to get him kicked out. The bill would still let 4,000 to 5,000 people a day. Oh, that's what I said. Probably 4,000 people a day. What is that? Four times 365. Oh, 1.4 million. It's like, okay, that's still a sucky deal. That's still a sucky deal. So like this is really ridiculous. I don't think, and hopefully that this bill won't pass. This is not a bipartisan bill. People say it's bipartisan because they writing the bill, but that's not bipartisan. You just writing a bill to get torn apart because people are not going to like it. Or what they do is they're going to vote for the bill on February the 5th, but they put it at your desk at midnight on February the 4th, so you won't have time to read the bill. That's what they do in Capitol Hill. So you won't have time to read the bill, and people are like rushing. Oh, we got to sign it. We got to sign this. The government is shutting down. You know, you trying to put other stuff in the bill with it. Anywho, you guys, like I said, thank you for tuning in. Once again, you guys remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. I am sending all my good to you. We will be tuning in the same time tomorrow. So I'm sending all my good to you. I will talk to you tomorrow.